Guten Abend, meine Freunde. Was ich euch heute Abend erzählen würde, ist so schockierend, dass ihr euch in die Hosen machen würdet. What I'm about to tell you tonight is so shocking that it will make you piss your pants. Stick with me. I will explain. First, I'd like to congratulate these smart men and women, because to me, it seems like they're acting like political gangsters. So, congratulations. You have succeeded admirably, okay? You have bamboozled, you have duped, you have ran rings around the Grenadian people, and you have deceptively done it, all while pitting them against each other. Brilliant strategy, brilliant! So while they are busy tearing each other down and fighting each other tooth and nail, you guys are making your moves and you're succeeding. I like that. I like that. Good move. Very good move. Not a bad strategy at all. So them smart man, them smart PBC and GSS fellas, they did it again, man. They outsmart all your Grenadian. I mean, they did it in 1983 and they come again. And here they are. They and their sons and daughters outsmarting you guys again. So when I said that this whole Polaris was a Ponzi scheme months and months ago, okay? Nobody saw it and you guys didn't believe what I was saying. You guys probably said, what the heck is this guy talking about? Ponzi scheme? That's outrageous. Well, the more that I delve into this and the more I look at this and explore, okay, and analyze, I realize, boy, oh boy, was I spot on. If they were given Nobel Peace Prize for figuring things out, boy, I would have been a recipient. Because you hear a lot of talk recently about this Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited. And I understand why they created this distinct and separate entity to deal with Polaris. So they can have control, number one, and management of this particular asset. And that asset from the get-go, boy, it's like discovering a diamond. And boy, oh boy, they can feed and ride this gravy train for a long time. And while you Grenadians are cussing and fighting each other, these guys are making money and laughing all the way to the bank. Ah, just brilliant. And I'll tell you how it's done. No, this is my suspicion. And I figured it out. Okay? So they create this distinct entity, Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited, as I said, to manage this whole Polaris transaction. And it's just not managing in a traditional sense. Managing a sense that is going to make money for them and their friends. So they're making money, okay, from every aspect of this Polaris. As I told you guys months and months ago, and you guys probably didn't understand or didn't believe me, this Polaris is the creation of an economy of sorts for the upper echelons of NDC to feed off. It's not for you. I told you guys. Okay, all the ceremony was not for you. It was for them. It was a ritual of celebration. It's like, yeah, we did it. We duped the Grenadian people, and boy, oh boy, we're going to milk this for everything it's worth. So let me explain, okay? So this Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited, now that they have control over this and they can carefully manage this asset, guess what they're going to do? And this is a Ponzi scheme. They're going to sell shares in that company, okay, to themselves and their friends, okay? So it's going to, and then they're going to pull off what I call a typical pump and dump scheme. A pump and dump scheme. You see, that's why they had to create all this big excitement about Polaris. And that is why they were rushing to create this sword turning. Because time is running out. Time is of essence here. So if they create all this excitement and people get enthusiastic about it, what happens? The quote unquote speculative value of this company rises. So they can sell shares to themselves and their friends in this company at relatively cheap prices per share. Okay, they're going to sell it to their friends. Let me just do a little number for you. So for example, if a whale, okay, or a guy with some money, their friends, buy shares into this company, buy 1 million shares, okay, at $1 a piece. Okay, that's $1 million. Now, what are they going to do subsequently? Because of all the excitement and enthusiasm, and they know Grenadian people want to teach a research hospital, okay, that whale now would start selling shares anywhere from $2 to $5. Because I'm telling you, look how this coming. They're going to tell you, oh, they need some sort of help in funding the hospital. Okay? So after that whale bought it at $1 per share, they can sell it. And I'm just doing some numbers. Anywhere from $2 to $5 per share. Okay? So even if they got it at $4 per share or $3 per share, right there and then, that person who bought it at $1 per share would have already made $2 million when they resell it at $3 per share. Just brilliant. They're coming to you. Look how, you're going to tell me I said it. They're coming to you, Grenadian people. They say, we need to raise some funds. And now they've excited you. They've bamboozled you and you're all excited about it. That's what they're going to hit you with next. So all their friends who buy up these shares in this company initially for cheap are going to resell it, okay, on the retail market for $2 to $5 or even more. They could say, that's 10. They could buy for $2 or $3 and that's $10. Okay? And then that way, you know, they'll be making a killing. So that's it. You guys don't understand, right? They're coming to hit you up just now. And all you excitable people in the diaspora. You guys go, yeah, wow. Let's get some of the shares in the teacher research hospital. Boy, so they know their audience. These guys are not foolish. These smart man lawyers, they know their audience. You know what I'm saying? Remember they started off with a downright begging campaign for funding this hospital? But then they thought about it and said, no, that's not going to work. We have to concoct a greater scheme, okay? We got to make them feel they're getting something for their money. You know what I'm saying? But first, the most important thing is that we got to rile them up. We got to dangle things in front of them. You see, because again, as I said, time is of the essence. They're not sure if they're going to win the next election. So whatever stage this thing is at, they would have made their money, regardless. And again, the people who bought the paper will be left holding the debt, or indirectly the Grenadian people or the Grenadian government. I'm telling you, boy, these smart men and them. One thing I know for sure is that carnage men and carnage women ain't getting caught up in that hustle. We grew up and we know all them hustles, and we can see a hustle from a mile away. So all ain't catching us in that. And as this price and value of this share keeps rising in initial phases of the project and might culminate to a maximum at the actual construction of the project or near construction of the project, the value will be extremely high. And that is when it reaches its maximum peak value, that is when they will sell these shares. They will start dumping these shares in this company. Because after a hospital is built, let's say it happens to be built, right? After it's built, guess what happens? A hospital don't make money. For a very long time, it's not going to make money. So the value of those shares in this Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited will start going down. I mean, ask Bet Israel, ask Mount Sinai. They ran the hospital Bet Israel in 14th Street in Manhattan, okay, in Union Square area, and it went bankrupt. And that was an exceptionally big hospital. As a matter of fact, I keep telling you guys the story. The people in the neighborhood tried to sue Mount Sinai, okay, Bet Israel, to keep this hospital open, right? And they were adamant that they were closing. And they were adamant that they were closing this hospital, disregarding the people in the neighborhood who needed the services, okay? So they went bankrupt. They went bust. So that is exactly what I'm telling you. Okay, because for the first 10 years of this hospital, even if it's built, Grenada would just have to keep pumping resources and money. Grenada would just have to keep pumping money and resources into this hospital, this teaching and research hospital. Okay? And at the same time, guess what? The reports, the accountants is going to be in a deficit every year. They're not going to be making money. And that is how the shares, the value of the shares in the company will go down. Okay? So after it peaked and they sold these shares at its peak value, so the people who bought it now, it will start decreasing. The value in the company will start decreasing. And these people again would have been suckered. Okay? So that is part of the Ponzi scheme. Those who get in first make the money, and those who come in later bear the burden and the debt. Whether it be the Grenadian government or the Grenadian people indirectly. Now you guys get it. I bet you didn't think about that. That is the grand scheme. So these paper-pushing lawyers and them, they're deadly and devious and dangerous. They don't do no real work. These paper-pushing guys don't do no real work. Okay? These people, I tell you, they have Grenada by the cojones. These paper-pushing lawyers who have consistently ruled Grenada, in many respects, have Grenada by the cojones. They make money off of your sons and daughters going to jail. They make money in all these underhanded corporate deals. They make money in these international deals, nation to nation. So in some respects, these devious, cunning, paper-pushing lawyers, okay, rip off Grenada, okay? And they ride the back of the hard-working man at the bottom and the hard-working middle-class Grenadians while they live like kings on the hilltop. This is what these people do to you guys. And you don't realize it. Every time your son or daughter gets arrested, they all make money off it. Okay? You here to tell you crime don't pay? Ah, bullshit. Crime actually pays. It pays the lawyers, the arresting officers, the holding officers, and the correction officers. Okay? So it pays. It's an industry. And you know who is the raw material? You know who is the wood for the fire, so to speak? You, the average Grenadian and the middle-class Grenadian. And you don't even see what's happening to you. Then smart men and them got you duped. They're playing you. But I understand these things because Providence has made it in such a way that I've been through all these different stratas of society. I've interacted with all these different stratas of society. So I am best positioned to understand the political, social, and cultural dynamic in this society. It's not like I'm exceptionally brilliant, but it's because of experience and judgment I'm able to understand these things. You, my fellow Grenadian, the middle-class Grenadian is breaking its back, okay? And the low, vulnerable Grenadian are the ones that are carrying these people, okay? They are riding you, okay, to enrichment. This is how it works. So there you have it. That is what this Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited is all about. It's pretty much a pump and dump scheme, okay? That is why they need to create excitement, enthusiasm about this whole Polaris thing. So they could sell these shares to their friends, of course, and their friends get in early. And they buy a lot of these shares at very cheap prices. And then they'll get an opportunity to resell them at exorbitant prices compared to what they bought it for. That's why they make their killing. So every aspect of this Polaris is in some respects a Ponzi scheme. Because the people who end up buying these at exorbitant prices, when this fails, when the value of the company goes down, because it will happen. It's a hospital. Hospital is no big set of profitable adventure. Okay? Then you will be left holding worthless shares. They'll have an amazing marketing campaign if it gets to some sort of fruition. So it's a win-win for them. Okay? And then when it peaks, that is when they'll start selling these shares at an exorbitant rate. And the suckers who going to buy them at an exorbitant rate, thinking that, oh, wow, this is going to continue rising, they are the ones who will end up holding the debt and holding worthless shares in this Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited. Now you guys get it. Now you get it. Boy, these GBSS and PVC boys are running rings around you guys. My goodness. I mean, ask Philip Telisford. Ask Minister Philip Telisford. He should be very familiar with this. Okay? And in some respects, I'm a little disappointed because the gentleman is making happy sick men and women look like we stupid or something. Okay? The gentleman is making us look like we're second-class citizens. And that breaks my heart. Okay? Because my pride, okay, and my love of my high school would not allow it. This gentleman knows they did it to him. If they did it to him, their own associate, just imagine what they will do to the Grenadian people. When this man started this chicken farm, they had all these investors that came in. These same smart men and them. Ask your partner. Ask the leader of administration. These men and them came in. Okay? And guess what? They might have pumped money into this new venture. Again, they always come in at the early stages. That's where the money is made. So they came in at the early stages, okay, made their money, and when they realized, this thing might be going in the wrong direction, they immediately demand their profits and take their money and bail. And guess who was left holding the bag? Mr. Telisford. To this day, this man can recover from that hole and debt he has sunk himself in. Now, as I said, this breaks my heart that this man would allow these PBC and GVSS boys to outsmart him. Okay? To make HHSS boys look like we don't know what's going on. This pisses me off. Seriously, pisses me off. And this man, is intermingling and in cahoots with these people. In some respects, I believe that just by being associated, that he is complicit in some respects in the duping of Grenadian people with this whole Polaris thing. He's a health minister. He bears some sort of responsibility. And this gentleman is doing it probably because he's getting pennies on the dollar. They have no respect for this gentleman. Look what they did to him in the Polaris Town Hall. They basically cast the gentleman aside whenever. Whenever they feel like casting him aside, they cast him aside. And whenever they feel like having him involved, they have him involved. Come on, Mr. Telisford. These are not the men you grew up around in Happy Hill Secondary School. Come on. You grew up around real men of cojones. As a matter of fact, we had a school where there was boys and girls. So we're even more real men. And you let these men who grew up around each other, smelling each other's ashes, outwit you? You're breaking my heart, Mr. Telisford. You're seriously breaking my heart. So, now that we have gotten that out of the way, that is the whole idea with the Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited and purchasing this property so they could manage it distinctly and manage it to their benefit. Boy, I don't know. What going on with all your Grenadians, boy? All you let these smart man them outwit you guys like that? And you know what's funny? All you in the diaspora who pretend all you're so bright. All you like to show off on one another and pretend you're so bright for one another. And you are the ones that are duped the most. Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. All of you punks in the diaspora pretending you're so bright. And you always like to show off from each other. I'm Dr. This and I'm this and that. I'm a lawyer. I'm a this and that. And you're letting these people outsmart you guys. And you're cursing and fighting tooth and nail with people because of these people. What a shame. Look at what you guys have become. What a shame. That is why I go in hard on you guys. That is why I go in hard on you guys. Because you should know a little better. And for you in Grenada, all of you say you're big professional. But I know why you do it. You get a little couple of dollars. They hit you some pennies. They hit you off some pennies. And you're in a kind of small society, so you're afraid to talk. Because they could put a little pressure on you. What has Grenada become? I'm talking about talk. Boy, I still can't get over what you guys did to those two little guys out in River Road. I still can't get over what you guys did. That stuff pisses me off so much. It's unbelievable. Have these two young men, okay? Have these two young men without any protective gear, dump them in the River Road, dump them in St. John's River, in that infested water with dead fish was lying around, okay? Plus all kind of bacteria and infestation, and have these little men and them pulling lilies and pulling grass out of the water. Grenadians, this is what you've become. This is how you let these people treat you, okay? While you have one of them traveling through Montparnasse and going up in Montparnasse Heights, and she ain't even opening she window to say hello or hi to the people through whose village she traverses. But I'm not surprised. The young lady grew up around us, okay? In some respects, the community raised her. What has she done for the community? At the slightest opportunity, this woman abandoned the community, okay? And she moved out. Yeah, a bunch of them, the one that just get called into the DPMD, he did the same thing, okay? Now you come and talk about, oh, you could challenge anybody in 5 minutes. You debate anybody. Call him. I'll give him 5 minutes notice. I gave you 5 minutes notice. I'm waiting. What are you waiting on? I am waiting. Come like some big honcho on after the man for me party. You come like some big honcho on the stage like he formed the party. What's wrong with all you, boy? What's wrong with all you? Then you River Road people, this is what you've become? That you're going to allow these guys and them to do that to your young men? What is wrong with you guys? Tongue man, what happened to all your boy? All you crawling on your belly like snakes now? What happened to River Road? Lacret, you're a brother, you're an uncle for all the struggles that you guys struggled in the 70s and early 80s. This is what you are allowing to happen to River Road men? This is what you guys settle for? Something is wrong with you, man. Something is wrong with you guys, bro. And you know, brother, Lacret, I have ultimate love and respect for you. But you can't sit in your community and allow this, knowing all that you guys sacrificed in the 70s and early 80s to build Grenada. And you have these charlatans and imposters coming into your society and doing that to your young men. This is what young men come to buy. This is what we come to. So, now you guys understand the Ponzi scheme. Now you understand the Ponzi scheme. That is why there was a rush to go and have this sword turning. To create excitement and enthusiasm so the value of these assets could go up. Speculation. Okay? So the shares of value could go up. So they'll sell these shares. Okay? And they'll make money off of these shares. When it peaks, then they'll dump it and sell it at these exorbitant prices. Okay? They get in early, right? They get in early when it's rising. And when it peaks, then they sell it. And then they know the value of that company and the value of those shares will go down. So the suckers who buy it at the peak, guess what? They would be left holding the debt. Brilliant. Brilliant. You guys did it again. You suckered them and you outsmarted them and you bamboozled them. But you see, fanatics, people who have a fanatical mentality, who do not take time to think reasonably and critically and logically, that is their curse. They get easily duped. And there's nobody in the society, okay, who's responsible enough to try to educate the young men and women in the society. So of course, these rapacious, avaricious charlatans and imposters could take advantage of them. In the end, that is not beneficial for the society. In the short run, a few will make some money. But that is not how you build a society. So why they tell you they love you guys so much? They don't love you. They love themselves. And they're using you and laughing all the way to the bank. You notice that they don't invest in anything that could actually build you? They don't invest in anything that builds you. They invest in things that they know they can make a quick money off. Anything that has some legal transaction, that's where the money's at. So it comes to them. So they basically, I tell you, these guys are moving like political gangsters. And don't misinterpret or get it twisted. I know when you guys think of gangsters, you think about them little fellas in the quote-unquote ghettos, moving in the ghettos and trying to hurt each other. I know that is what you think of when you think of gangsters. These people are not gangsters. These little kids running around, misguided kids running around trying to hurt each other and fighting for pennies. These are not gangsters. The gangsters are these guys up here who could come up with these sophisticated scams and Ponzi schemes like Polaris and make millions doing it. These are gangsters. You know, remember they had all that talk about youth in agriculture? Remember that? And they always come with these nice phrases. They're good at marketing. And these hashtags. Youth in agriculture. And you guys allow yourselves to be easily riled up. You know, in this modern, social media stage, it's a stage, it's a big stage. And these guys are good actors on the stage. So they say, youth in agriculture. Sounds good, right? They've been talking about this forever. Over a year ago, they went up to Diamond Estates or whatever. Bulldoze cocoa and nutmeg. Okay? Bulldoze. When cocoa and nutmeg had the highest prices. Okay? Bulldoze acres of it. Say they want to do some greenhouses or whatever for youth in agriculture. Okay? So there used to be a phrase, you burn $1 to get a 25 cents. So the men bulldoze a whole set of acre cocoa and nutmeg. When the prices is like gold right now. Okay? And burn everything. And left that land sitting there for over a year. Okay? To be overrun with bushes and all kind of craziness. Okay? And now I see that they're trying to start doing something like a wall or something. I don't know what the heck they're trying to do. Okay? But be careful. These people can't build retaining walls. So I see them trying to build a retaining wall or something to create some road or something. A year after. But all the while they were telling you youth in agriculture. And a year after, not one seedling is planted. Okay? But you see, that is not making money for them. They'll have to put money into this in the short term. Okay? And this thing is more long term. So they don't really care about that. That's hype. That's the mama guy, the Grenadian people. Take a look at what is going on at that plot of land.
So this is the site of the Youth in Agriculture project in Diamond. Massive retaining wall construction, I guess, to facilitate a road to go down to where I guess they're going to be putting the greenhouses or shade houses that they're constructing. The machine is back on site. So basically after they would have more or less cleared down all the cocoa and the nutmeg, they're now going to put greenhouses or shade houses right up here. I guess that's progress for you. So why
Bob Marley's song, Ambush in the Night, I think it's quite appropriate in these circumstances and in these prevailing time. Because it talks about, political strategy, how they use political strategy and how they bribe with their arms and spare parts and money, And it's like an ambush in the night because it's difficult to have any defense against this. when you have people who are in power and are willing to intimidate and are willing to do anything to maintain that power, you know. So, as I said, it's an ambush in the night. And he talks about, he says, you know, when you got to get a little bit of food, he says your brother got to be your enemy. Okay? Your brother's got to be your enemy. And that is exactly what is happening. The Grenadian people are pitted against each other, tearing each other down, fighting each other tooth and nail. Okay? While the smart men and them make their money, you know, and enrich themselves. And you know what they always say, right? They say, oh, well, keep my children there too, so it's okay. This is the sort of mentality that we have. Okay? The buck should stop. And it has to stop. The backs of the Grenadian people cannot be ridden so that people could enrich themselves. Okay? Okay, well, we're pretty much at the end of our show tonight. I appreciate it, as always, you wonderful people who give me your time and effort. I always encourage you to share, comment, and like, okay? Because the more you share is the more people become aware and they get educated. And ultimately, we don't have to liberate them. They'll be able to liberate themselves when we bring great content, reasonable, logical, and content based on critical thinking to enlighten them. Okay, so again, share the video. Every Grenadian, far and wide, deserves to know exactly what is happening in their country, have access to the proper information so they can make right decisions. Okay? Okay, and as usual, if you love our content and you feel the need to support, feel free. Support us. Hit that heart-shaped thanks and send us a coffee or something, or whatever you deem appropriate. We appreciate it. It enables us to continue producing more wonderful content and to allow us to have a more extensive reach so that each and every Grenadian can be aware of what is happening in their country. Well, I know it's almost summer and everybody's trying to get in shape, okay? Hopefully you get in shape like I do. And we have a plan, you know, an extremely great plan. Caribbean Issues, okay? They have a plan on their website that can get you in shape, get that sexy summer body, you understand? So I suggest that you go to Caribbean Issues site and download the intense program to get you in shape for that bikini bod come summer, okay? So take a look at Caribbean Issues and what they have to offer in terms of an exercise program that you're not going to regret. So, guten Abend.
At Caribbean Issues, we care about your health and wellness. That's why we have taken the time and effort to research, formulate, and create a complete daily strength system just for you. Yes, you. Everyone can use it, for beginner to advanced. Fully interactive with exercise cues, timers, audio motivation, end of exercise alerts, schedule, progress recording, and tracking, and more. It all works without the need for internet and on your computer, tablet, and mobile devices.